Thanks for staying with us. Now, to our first hot topic for the morning. The Federal High Court in Ekiti State has granted 50 million naira bail to lawyer and activist Dele Farotimi, with conditions including a surety owning landed property. Omoyele Sowore confirmed the decision via social media, noting that the case was adjourned to January 29, 2025. Farotimi's trial, linked to alleged defamation against Afe Babalola, involves a 16-count charge stemming from his book criticizing Nigeria's judiciary. His arrest and detention have sparked planned protests in Ekiti, Lagos, Abuja, London, and Canada, despite police warnings against public demonstrations. Our guest this morning is Ngozi Dorothy Molokwu, a CEO and founder in Justice is Real. Good morning and welcome to the program.
Good morning and thank you for having me.
Okay, let's just walk us through what this case between Afe Babalola and Farotimi is regarding the integrity of the judiciary and everything. So let's get your opinion on it before we continue.
Okay, thank you very much for that. In terms of Lagos State, you see, Dele Farotimi has been charged for libel. In Lagos State, it's a case, it's a civil matter, it's not a criminal matter. It's been repealed in Lagos State. The criminal law of Lagos State 2011 has repealed it. It's a civil issue, it's not a criminal matter. The case of Dokubo Asari and Federal Republic of Nigeria also has deemed it unconstitutional. It's unconstitutional. Now, Lagos State, again, in the case of Ariomo versus Commissioner of Police and ANCO, 2021, it was affirmed that defamation ceased to be a criminal offense in Lagos State. Now, when you look at Section 424 of the Police Act 2020, the Nigerian police can only act on conduct that is a criminal offense under Nigerian law. Now, when you take the totality of all these case laws that I have just read out, it's clear that in Lagos State, it's not a criminal matter, it's a civil issue. It's clear that, as I said, Dokubo Asari versus Federal Republic of Nigeria, it's unconstitutional to deem libel, defamation, a criminal offense. Now, Afe Babalola and his team, the case law they're standing on in Ekiti State is the Criminal Code Law of Nigeria, which allows libel to be deemed a criminal offense. But it must constitute a breach of the peace. It must constitute a breach of the peace. In this case, where is the breach of the peace? This is a question I ask. What breach of the peace is there? Dele Farotimi is not pitting communities against each other. No. It's not a murder trial. He hasn't committed murder. He hasn't killed it. Nobody died. So how is this a breach of the peace? How does it constitute a breach of the peace? So these are the questions we need to look at. These are the things we need to just look at the totality of the case law in Nigeria. The case law in Nigeria presents issues. The way the case law is established, it makes it very, very difficult, you see, and unavoidable for one's human rights not to be violated in cases like this. Because if Lagos State is saying it's not a criminal offense, it's a libel issue. You go to Ekiti, where Afe Babalola is actually from. You know, he's well known in Ekiti State. He's a very wealthy man. You see, he's used this, so he's a SAN. He's also a SAN. He's standing on the Criminal Code Law of Nigeria. He's applying that in Ekiti, saying, you know what, you have libeled me. And as a result of this libel, I'm charging you to court. So these are all the things we need to look at. The case law, it's scattered all over the place. It's confusing. You know, we need to pull this thing together so we understand what the law says, you know, in each state. There needs to be uniformity. Otherwise, what will keep happening, you know, what will keep happening is an abuse of one's human rights. He was arrested, he was held for a week, he wasn't allowed any bail, he He was released yesterday finally on bail with a surety of 50 million naira. You see, these are all the things. Why did he leave Lagos State in the first place? Where was the Nigerian police? Why did they allow him to be removed from one jurisdiction to another when he hasn't done anything that constitutes a breach of the peace? Why has he been taken? Why did they allow this to happen to him? Where were they when he was being taken? Because in Lagos State, it's not a criminal offense. It's a libel issue. So they should have said, the Nigerian police, as I said before, the Police Act 2020, the Nigerian police can only act on conduct that is a criminal offense under Nigerian law. It's not a criminal offense, particularly in Lagos State where he's based. So why was that allowed to happen? It just smacks of a wealthy man coming into another state, leaving his state, coming into another state, and being able to throw his weight around, being able to uplift, anyone, yes. If you believe you've been libeled, you can address this in court. You can go to court. Take the issue to court. We're not saying if he's libeled you that you can't go to court. You have every right to do that. But let's follow the process. Let's follow due process.
Yeah,
you can't just come into.
I was worried about the jurisdiction thing, how they came to Lagos and whisked him away. But now that he has been taken to Ekiti State, and mind you, I'm not a lawyer, so I might get confused about a lot of things. Now, he has been taken to Ekiti State, and you keep saying that in Lagos State, that law has been repealed. Libel is no longer a criminal act, and it should be treated like a civil act. So now that is in Ekiti State and it is not Lagos State, what does that say? Are they right? Or are there other things to refer to that will make sure that he cannot be tried as a criminal case or rather than as a civil?
We've had some pretty tough cases today. We had a 21-year-old who was in an airstrike and
tried as a criminal case or rather than as a civil case.
It should never have gone to Ekiti in the first place. It should never have gone there, you see. But now it's in Ekiti's jurisdiction. Obviously, as I mentioned, the law they're standing on the Criminal Code Law of Nigeria, which allows you to bring a case against somebody who libels you, you see, provided though it constitutes a breach of peace. Where is the breach of peace here? So frankly speaking,
was this breach of peace, forgive me, was this breach of peace defined well to just be a breach of peace between individuals or communities and not emotional peace? I'm just asking.
Well, you see, that's where there's no clarity. We're not hearing. I haven't personally, Injustice Israel as an organization, we haven't heard anybody pick on this issue of, does it constitute a breach of peace? We haven't heard it. And that's why we're speaking up about it. To say, where is the breach of peace here? It doesn't constitute a breach of peace because it's not bringing communities together at loggerheads. It's not causing there to be war between communities. It's an issue of libel. Why was it removed from Lagos State in the first place? It should never have left Lagos State. It should basically just stay in Lagos State. The Nigerian police should have stepped up and said, no, we can't allow this. We can't allow you to come and take one of ours in Lagos State to Ekiti State. And it just has a feeling of the general consensus is that a wealthy man has come, and everybody has backed off, everybody has pulled back and allowed him just uplift Dele Farotimi and take him to Ekiti State, which is his state, which he's very influential in. And the question now arises, how much fairness can Dele Farotimi get in a state like Ekiti? And these are the things that concern us because this is Are Babalola's state. This is where he's from. And he's applying the Criminal Code Law of Nigeria in Ekiti State, which is allowed in Ekiti State. But what is the fairness here for someone like Dele Farotimi, who has just been uprooted from Lagos State, taken all the way down to Ekiti State? And these are the things that concern us. We saw him yesterday. He was arrested and handcuffed. Why is he handcuffed? Why was that allowed to happen? To somebody who is a renowned lawyer, an activist, a human rights activist, why was that allowed? It's not a criminal offense. He didn't commit any crime. He hasn't murdered anybody. He hasn't killed. He hasn't done anything to warrant him being arrested. He was handcuffed. It's disgraceful beyond words. These are the things we should not allow to happen. And that's why we're speaking up about these things. It just has a feeling of a man, a wealthy man, who can oppress somebody else who doesn't have the means and the resources to match him. And that is what we're seeing. And that's why we're speaking up about it. And in the UK, I mean, thankfully, today is International Human Rights Day. You see, so in the UK, we are also carrying this issue. We're protesting, we're taking it to King's College London, the Dixon Poon Law School, and we're calling all Nigerians in the UK to join us, to speak up, to complain. Let's go to King's College, where he donated 10 million pounds for African youth development. Let's go there. Let's have these conversations with them. Let's let them know that we are grieved. We have grievances against Afe Babalola for being able to do this. And what message does this put out to the youth that he's trying to develop? All it says is, oh, I'm a wealthy man. I can come, leave my state, go into another state, uproot somebody who I feel has defamed me or libeled me, take him to another jurisdiction and prosecute him there. This matter should have never left Lagos State in the first place. It should remain in Lagos State. They should deal with it in Lagos State. If he wants to sue in Lagos State. Whatever you need to do it in Lagos State. Everybody knows that Nigeria, when you're in custody in Nigeria, it's one of the worst places that you can ever dare to meet yourself. Because if you meet yourself there, your rights are majorly violated. Not only violated, you don't even have any rights. You don't even have any rights. So these are the things we are saying. His rights must not be violated. Even uprooting him from Lagos all the way to Ekiti in the first place, his rights have been violated because where were the Nigerian police? Where were they? So these are the things. We shouldn't allow this. There needs to be legal reforms across board. We need to sit down and look at the law, the state of things. So there's reform. The criminal code needs to be repealed. So no other state can rely or continue to rely on the criminal code of law because all it does is violate people's human rights. So that's what we're saying. And we will be going straight down 2 p.m. today. We are calling on Nigerians, join us at King's College, the Dixon Poon Law School, join us. We will be tabling this to them to let them know that we are not happy. We are not happy with what Afe Babalola has done.
Yeah, this seems like the case has gone beyond Farotimi and Afe Babalola. It's like the people of Nigeria are on trial, and also the judiciary. These are the two people that the two entities that are facing trial now. Judiciary on the one hand, and the people on the other hand. But beyond just protesting in London, and I know also in some other places in Nigeria today as well. What else is the activists community doing beyond this case of Farotimi and Afe Babalola? Because injustice in Nigeria is not just something that is starting today, and everybody has been talking about the reforms that should go to the judiciary or the legal profession or whatever it is in Nigeria. That's the last hope of the common man, as they say, and it seems there's a rot that needs to be removed. What is the activist community doing to make sure that this rot is removed from the judiciary? Anyway, Ngozi will rejoin us in a moment. We're talking about the fact that the human rights lawyer and activist Dele Farotimi has been whisked away, or was whisked away, from Lagos State to Ekiti State. We're looking at the issue of jurisdiction. Why was it allowed? We've been speaking with Ngozi Dorothy Molokwu, CEO, founder. Injustice is real. Now, we're looking at issue of jurisdiction. How was it possible that the police came from Ekiti State to arrest someone in Lagos State and nobody said anything? And is being tried in Ekiti State, where the person, the legal luminary, is from, and where he has the most influence in Nigeria, even though he is someone who is respected in that profession nationwide. But he has the most influence in Ekiti State, which is his home state. This person was taken to Ekiti to be tried in Ekiti, and the sureties after the bail conditions were given, has to come from Ekiti State. He has to have landed property in Ekiti State. He has to be a resident of Ekiti State. So no matter the friends that Farotimi might have in Lagos, they cannot be sureties for him. in Ekiti State, because they may not be living in Ekiti State. So and then it is 50 million naira that he has to pay. So we're looking at all this, but we're concerned about the fact that, apart from the fact that Farotimi is on trial now for 16 counts, which is not murder, but is being tried as a criminal case, what about the other Nigerians who may not have as much a voice or as much of an influence like Farotimi in the scheme of things? What will happen to them? So using this case as a point of contact, as they say, what are we doing to make sure that this kind of a thing doesn't happen? We've been talking about reforms in the judicial sector. What are we doing about it? What can be done? What can be tweaked in the judicial system that will make it better? These are questions we're asking ourselves. And if this case has to continue, what does that portend for Nigeria as a country? And what will the world be looking at us to see from this case? Those are questions we need to answer. We're hoping Ngozi will rejoin us soon. Ngozi Dorothy Molokwu, as I said, is a CEO, founder. Injustice is real.